I heard something wading in the water on the other side of the alders. Well, again, it was very bright, folks. So I'm like, I couldn't see anything. I couldn't see anything. I'm like, well, maybe it's a moose. Maybe it's, who knows what it is. There was no evidence of any other man up there whatsoever. So I kind of making my way through the alders, and I parted the alders, folks, and there was this thing that was black, and it was bent over, and it was about 10 feet from me, and it was wet in the with the sun shining on that wet black coat. It was glistening. It was just glistening. Well, the back end of it was toward me, and my first thought was that is one of the biggest bear I have ever seen, and it was in the spring, so I didn't know if that was a mama bear and the cubs were there somewhere. So I turned around, folks, and I hightailed it back. I didn't walk either, okay? I was in a whole lot better shape than I am now. And at some point I hit my line release button, and I was running. I was running for that chopping. I wasn't saying anything. I was just hightailing it. And there was a 6-foot brush pile, folks, and I don't even remember climbing that and going down the other side, but that's where my line was when we traced the line back, trying to get the line back. So, but I went over that brush pile, and the guy that I was fishing with, he said, where are you going in such a hurry? And I didn't hear him. I just kept right on running. And next thing I knew, I got to the chopping, and I stopped, and I still had the fish pole in my hand. I did. And the line had broke way back. So I don't remember that either. And he said, what are you running for? He said, what scared you so bad that you were running so fast and you didn't even hear me speak to you? And the only thing I could think of was bear. Now, it makes me laugh now because I am not scared of bear whatsoever as an adult, and I was like 18, folks. So we waited a little bit, and we decided that probably the bear was just as much scared of me as I was of it, and there was no more danger. So we found where the line had broke, and here I am winding it around my hand as we walked down to the edge of the alders there, and got my spinner and my hook and the poor worm. And we went back. We were all over that. That was enough. So on the way back out, I decided to check out the brook, and it was easier walking the closer to that stream that it ran into than it was way up by the road, the dirt road. So he decided to I weren't gonna re-thread my line, my reel at all. I was done. I was done for the day. I was done. But I would stand there all day and watch him fish, right? So we come to this muddy spot, and there was this footprint. It looked like a man footprint, and he went, hey, and he pointed, and so I come over and I looked, and I bent down and I looked, and it was very fresh, folks. It was very fresh. But that track that looked like a man's track, which the hind foot of a black bear looks just like a man's foot that's walking barefoot in mud. But this track was about 6 inches wide, and I can't remember what we measured with, but it was over 16 inches long, and it looked just like a human that had stepped in that mud barefoot. It looked just like it. And the heel had gone down and kind of slid a little bit, and the toes had just dug right in, and it kicked some mud up a little bit, but it was one right foot track. So I looked at him, and he looked at me, and And we just didn't know what to think. We just kind of looked at each other and looked down and looked at each other and looked back down. And of course, back then, you didn't carry a camera with you, and cell phones weren't even invented yet, so there was there was no way to whip our camera or a cell phone out of your pocket and take a picture. There's just no way. You just had to go on memory. So he figured, from what I saw, from what we saw, that track, that he had decided that, you broke your line. Let's just go back and just relax at camp for a little bit. And we didn't even talk about it. We didn't talk about it for the longest time. And then we spoke of it and we just kind of laughed it off. We just did. I was 18, he was 21. We were just young, and there had to be some logical explanation, and we just moved on from it. But the other day, someone reminded me of that bear story, and I really have to wonder, folks, if that was because the bear that I saw in the stream that I ran from, the shape was all off. It was like a human at about 3 times as wide as I am, and that was bent over, almost like it was bent over so its back was straight, but it's almost like it was drinking from the surface of the water. So if you know bear, it's pretty hard to see the tail of a bear. But the whole thing looked really, really wrong. But that was the only thing that I could associate it with, was a bear. So I just went with bear for years and years and years. I mean, 35 years, folks. I just associated that with a bear, and I went with bear, and that was it. And I've told the story many times, and I've always called it a bear. But I wonder now. I really wonder, because where we saw the track was a half a mile from where I saw the bear, and that was about 1 point. I Google Earthed it, folks. I'm very curious now. 1.8 miles from where the 2 whistles were, across country. So that whole area there, in 2 days, we heard 2 whistles in a place where man cannot go unless they were in a hovercraft. Okay, that huge footprint, and that black thing. Okay, so that was all within 2.5 miles, folks. 2.5 miles. So I'm not saying what I saw was a Bigfoot. I am not saying that. You may believe in Bigfoot. I may believe in Bigfoot. You may not believe in Bigfoot. I may not believe in Bigfoot. I am just saying that there is a lot of things. I've got a chipmunk. Folks, I don't have squirrels here. I don't have chipmunks here, and right there, about 20 yards from me, I've got a chipmunk. So the owl will take care of that, I'm sure. So I'm not saying that I do or do not believe. I am a person that needs scientific proof. I need to go up to the unknown, reach out, shake its hand, before I will even consider that something is real. I have to see it. I have to touch it. I just have to see evidence. Sometimes your ears can play tricks on you. Sometimes your mind can play tricks on you. If you're tired, if you're have poor eyesight, if you have poor hearing. But there are some things I have seen, folks, that I cannot explain. Now, there's new species of everything being discovered every single day. Now, if somebody says that they saw a UFO, how can I discredit them? I cannot. How can I say that they are lying? I cannot, because I did not see it. How do I know that they are not pulling a joke on me? I do not know. Okay? So people are really quick to judge. People are really quick to see a streak in the sky and it's a UFO, right? It could be a falling star, it could be a meteor, it could be whatever, right? It could be a lightning bug and their perception is off, right? Um, if we see something black in the woods, maybe it's not always a bear. Maybe I can't say if people are storytelling, if they say like they were abducted by aliens, how am I, or who am I to say that no you're not and laugh at them? I wasn't there. I do not know. So like to take the scientific approach. I like to take show me proof. Show me proof. But sometimes you see things, you know what you saw, but you don't know what you saw, and you keep your mouth shut because people judge, people laugh, people poke fun of you, and those people are judging you, and you could be just as serious as can be. And to be laughed at, it's not a fun feeling. So I see why a lot of people don't talk about encounters or things that they have seen or things that have happened to them because of that mentality and people laughing at them. I can see that. I really can. So anyway, I thought I'd share that story. I hope you enjoyed that bird's nest. We'll keep an eye on that, see if that is a robin, and we'll monitor that. And tomato plant that was growing in my driveway. Somebody called it a castaway tomato because it just grew from a random seed that somebody threw a tomato out to my birds, and the seed went down in between two stones and decided to germinate the next year, right? I was laughed at, really I was, for one, trying to save that plant, and two, why would you even want to save that plant? It's not looking very good. It's growing in gravel. It's too small to even mature this year. Why are you wasting your time? Well, for one, I'm curious. And two, it's a challenge. And three, why not? It's my driveway. Therefore, it is my tomato plant. And if I want to dig down through the gravel and put that plant in dirt and to see what happens with it, who is anybody to tell me or laugh at me or say, why would you even want to bother wasting your time? Well, I think if times get as hard as we think we are going to see, I'll look in my driveway for more tomato plants next year. I will, and I will dig them right up and see what happens. Because what am I wasting? I might be wasting my time. I might be. It might not produce anything. I could always dig it up and put it on my windowsill. But if it came from a store-bought tomato that was GMO, then probably is not going to bear tomatoes anyway. But I won't know until I try it. And damn it, I'm going to try it because why not? Just why not? So anyway, this is a mix of everything. And that's what I'm going to do from now on, folks. It's just a mix of everything because I just don't know which direction I want to go. Sometimes I just want to talk about trees. Sometimes I want to talk about plants. Sometimes I want to talk about shit at the fan. Sometimes I just want to tell a story or whatever. So I know some people try to stick to prepping. Some people try to stick to pantry stuff. Some people try to stick to a specific video type. But my God, how do you find enough material to do that without one, repeating yourself, and two, making a 20-minute video when an update would only take you one sentence? I just don't believe in wasting people's time with that. And so it's gonna be a free-for-all, and this one will be, I don't know, let's make it fun. Let's make it fun. Let's call it, do you believe in Bigfoot? Or something. Let's just make it fun. Let's make it fun. See how many people laugh. See how many people leave my channel. That'll be interesting too, right? So, folks, I'm not going to put on airs, and I'm not going to lie to you. If I say I don't know something, I'm going to tell you. If I tell you a story, you better believe that it's true to the best of my recollection. And I'm not going to steer you wrong. And we'll just go from there and see where this takes us. Thank you. Bye-bye.